Yeah, good morning. Welcome to a midweek pause. My name is Emmitt Drumgoole, and I am the pastoral resident here at Second Baptist Church. And for our midweek pause, I've been doing a lot of reflection about this pandemic that we're in and how in the month of March, it really pushed us into some places that have been difficult and uncomfortable for us. And we've actually had to learn and grow as a church, as families, as communities, as a state, as a nation. And when reflecting on that, it reminded me of a conversation that an author, Richard Rohr, has in one of his books, Falling Upward. And so I just wanted to read a brief section from this book that talks about the spirituality, the spiritual component that comes when we find ourselves in very uncomfortable situations. He says, none of us go into our spiritual maturity completely of our own accord or totally free choice. We are led by mystery, which religious people rightly call grace. Most of us have to be cajoled or seduced into it, or we fall into it by some kind of transgression, believe it or not, like Jacob finding his birthright through cunning and Esau losing his by failure. Those who walk the full and entire journey are considered called or chosen in the Bible, perhaps fated or destined in world mythology and literature, but always they are the ones who have heard some deep invitation to something more and set out to find it by grace and daring. Most get little reassurance from others, or even have full confidence that they are totally right. Setting out is always a leap of faith, a risk in the deepest sense of the term, and yet an adventure too. The familiar and the habitual are so falsely reassuring, and most of us make our homes there permanently. The new is always, by definition, unfamiliar and untested. So God, life, destiny, suffering have to give us a push, usually a big one, or we will not go. Someone has to make clear to us that homes are not meant to be lived in, but only to be moved out from. Wow, I think that those are important words for us to hear in times of newness and in times of challenge, that perhaps it's the push that we need to get us beyond the familiar, and it is the push that we need in order to be in places to activate our faith, to do practices that are different, that are unique, that are new and out of the norm. It keeps our faith moving. As Jason reminded us that Frederick Buechner said, it's the ants in the pants of faith when doubt comes out of these new experiences, but it also causes us to move into places of spiritual maturity. And so the question that we can ponder today is, how are these uncomfortable times, times when we're unable to meet together, times where we are frustrated from challenges of what we wanted to do this summer and what will come up in this fall, how is that leading to us and our growth in spiritual maturity? And that's the question that I'd like to ponder and ask that you ponder with us for this midweek pause. Blessings to you, and we'll see you next week.